All right, today we're going to dive into a way of thinking that totally flips a common frustration on its head. What if that knack you have for spotting other people's mistakes isn't a curse? What if it's actually your greatest opportunity? Let's get into it. So, does this sound familiar to you? You're in a meeting, maybe just chatting with friends, or even just scrolling online, and you can't help but notice it. The little inconsistencies, the logical gaps, the contradictions in what people are saying versus what they're actually doing. It can drive you kind of crazy, right? Yeah, it's a super common feeling. But let's dig into why this habit, this talent for seeing flaws, can actually turn into a massive problem for us. So, the source material we're looking at has a word for this: mosun. It basically just means contradictions. And you see them everywhere, right? Someone's on a soapbox about one thing, but then they do the complete opposite. Or you hear someone giving out advice that you know they don't follow themselves. And look, this isn't about you being negative or overly critical. It's just you're seeing what's actually there. Okay, but here's the trap. This is the crucial part. When we don't get why we're wired to see these things, what's our first reaction? Usually it's to judge, right? Or to complain about it, maybe gossip a little. And hey, that impulse is totally natural, but it's also what keeps us completely stuck. It blinds us to our own issues and just slams the brakes on our personal growth. So that brings up a huge question. Why do some of us see these flaws so clearly, while other people just seem to float by, totally oblivious? Well, the answer our source gives us is, honestly, it's pretty mind-bending. It's completely counterintuitive, and it's really the heart of what we're talking about today. Okay, get ready for this. The big idea is, the reason you see all this stuff isn't because you're a negative person. It's because you have what the source calls a higher mass and energy. Now, don't get hung up on the physics words. Just think of it like a different level of awareness, a higher potential. You're basically just seeing the world from a different, higher vantage point. And this dynamic is absolutely key to understanding everything. The person with this higher quality isn't like a better human being. Not at all. They just have a fundamentally different perspective. It's like having an eagle's eye view of the world. And from way up there, all the messy, confusing contradictions down on the ground, well, they become crystal clear. Painfully obvious, even. And this isn't just a nice idea, according to this philosophy. It's presented as a fundamental law of perception. It's not a choice you make, it just is. Think about it. You can see the whole valley when you're standing on top of a mountain, right? But you can't see the mountaintop when you're down in the valley. It's the same principle. That higher energy you have just gives you a kind of clarity, a vision that other people literally cannot access. So having this kind of perception, this clarity, it puts you at a crossroads, a major fork in the road. And the choice you make right here, it can literally define the entire rest of your life. And the tough part? Most people, without even thinking about it, take the wrong path. All right, so let's walk down that first path. We can call it the critic's trap. This is the easy one. It's the path of knee-jerk reactions, of judgment, and yeah, it's a trap that can keep you stuck for your entire life. So here's how it plays out. Step 1, you see the contradiction, the flaw. Step 2, instead of looking inward, you immediately point outward. You comment on it, you gossip about it, you just get fixated on their mistake. And the second you do that, boom, you've just thrown away the lesson. Your own growth journey screeches to a halt, and you basically just become a professional complainer. And I'm not talking about a short-term thing here. The source material is incredibly direct about this. It says people get caught in this loop, complaining about the same kinds of things in the same kinds of people for 30, 40, even 50 years. A whole lifetime spent stuck in the same place. So here's the bottom line for this path. By choosing to be the critic, you are squandering the very gift, the very energy that gives you this unique sight in the first place. You never reach your potential. You never become the leader or the wise person you are meant to be. And, as a little bonus, the people you're always criticizing, they end up resenting you. No surprise there. But there is another way. It's harder. Way harder. But it's also infinitely more rewarding. This is the second path, the student's ascent. This is where you choose to stop being a critic and start being a student. Now, this path takes serious discipline. It's a whole different mindset. When you see that flaw, your first move is nothing. Silence. You don't say a word. You don't criticize. You just observe. Humbly. You start treating that person's mistake like it's a piece of study material that was prepared just for you. You turn the spotlight inward and ask, okay, what's the lesson here for me? And this approach, it has an incredible long-term payoff. The source actually lays out a kind of timeline. It suggests that after about 3 years of doing this, of just silently studying the world, you'll notice you can explain things with this amazing new clarity. And after about 7 years, people will just naturally start coming to you for advice. They'll seek you out. You will have earned your wisdom step by step and become the kind of person who can make a real difference. So let's tie all of this together with one last really powerful idea. Think of it as your study material. Okay, this is a pretty profound and humbling way to look at it. The idea is that the people below you, the ones making all these mistakes, they are, in a way, sacrificing to create your study materials. It's a wild thought, right? Their struggles are generating the real-world examples you need to learn from, and your only job is to learn from them with gratitude. So their mistakes, they're not just an annoyance. They are your personal curriculum for wisdom. Every single contradiction, every flaw you spot, it's a lesson. It's a case study in how things work or don't work. And when you choose to study instead of complain, you're not just helping yourself, you're actually honoring their struggle and using it to fuel your own growth. And really, that's the question this whole idea leaves us with, isn't it? The world is basically your classroom. So, are you studying the lessons, or are you just complaining about the curriculum? The next time you see that flaw in someone else, you're at that fork in the road again. Critic or student? The choice, as always, is yours.